Well, thank you so much. I just really am humbled and just grateful to Ian and President Prevost and the board and the administration here at Liberty. I just, truthfully um, don't know that it's all that deserved, but just really grateful for the confidence that they have in myself and our staff. And Jill and I just rejoiced last night that God has been faithful and good, and the people of Liberty have been incredible to us, and just really thankful for Ian's leadership and what he's doing for not only me but our staff, and excited about the future and what we can continue to build here on the mountain. So just really, really thankful. This makes Thanksgiving even that much more greater, and we already had a lot to be thankful for, but certainly when he came to me about, I guess it was 3-4 weeks ago, and told me, I just again, he's just an incredible leader and has great vision, and I appreciate him and Dr. Prevost and the board, and just thankful for it, and excited to go recruit some kids and continue to build.
Coach, I'll ask you a question, then we'll get to the media here. So I'm playing moderator and media. Just wanted to ask you, just from that standpoint, a recruiting standpoint, it seems like that they call it the silly season, and it starts a little earlier every year with coaches bouncing around and, getting fired here or leaving to go there. And does it help from that standpoint, the recruiting standpoint, especially with the early signing period, to have a commitment locked in place for you?
Yeah, I think it. Certainly you can't control all of the speculation and all the silly season, like you say, in the social media world. So it's certainly something our recruiting department will get out prior to me leaving Sunday to go recruit, to make sure that everyone that we're after knows where we stand. And so I do think it's helpful for sure, and excited to get that in our recruits' hands.
Let's go to Hank from the Associated Press.
Coach, how you doing, man?
Good, Hank. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I guess when we go to lunch, I know who's paying.
I'll be glad to, Hank.
Hugh, we've talked about this in the past, and the history you brought to Liberty. How much has Liberty's focus on Christianity and all that stuff been a boon to you, and how important is that to you in kind of I don't know if rehabilitating or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. How much has that been? We've talked about statues and all that stuff, but how important has that?
You've talked about statues. I haven't talked about that.
You're going to get a statue.
Let's be clear. No, I'm not chasing a statue.
If I have to.
All right.
But how important has that been to your time there?
Man, that's an interesting question. To be really candid with you, Hank, my faith is always been extremely important and real to me, whether I was at Lambeth, Arkansas State, Ole Miss, here. It's who I am. It's as real to me as is any failures that I've had too. The faults in the faith are the same, and I think that's hard for some people maybe to understand. And I don't know that I needed rehabilitating. I made an awful choice in my life, a series of choices that I've owned and certainly paid for. But here's the thing that I am. Liberty took the time to get to know Jill, myself, our daughters, our whole story, and believed in us. And when someone does that, I don't know, just the way I was raised and brought up, that counts for a lot and deserves our gratitude and also our best efforts to represent them well and to prove them right. And it's as much as I get written about and from whatever 6 years ago, and people still want to talk about or write about that. That's the great thing about this place, is it certainly has it's moved on from any of that, as I wish everybody would. And so I don't know if it's just the fact that they're Christian, that this university that made them show Jill and I grace and believe in us. I'm certain that's part of it, and we're grateful for it every single day. And but I think that's the one thing that I guess I'm trying to say is my faith was real in every stop I've had, and it's transcended the way I try to coach and build men. Obviously, you have to respect people's rights, and I don't force things on anyone, but I certainly make it obvious, I hope, where the consistency to which I try to live and model to them. And so I don't know if I answered your question, but we're thankful for Liberty.
Well, how important is it for you to get yourself out of the coaching carousel that's, the silly season, as John mentioned? How important is it to take yourself off that list?
I don't think that's something I really concern myself a whole lot with. I don't. I think so. I'm very transparent with our kids and with Ian. I'm very honest with him, and when we're winning and going to bowl games at a place that's new on this FBS schedule, and combine that with my history of having some big wins and good seasons and at the Power 5 level or the Group of 5 level at Arkansas State, I don't think that's a reasonable expectation. It's a compliment to our kids and to our staff and to our administration that people throw my name out there. What matters to me is just that I'm being as transparent with our kids and our administration and what we're trying to do here. So I don't really think I can ever control that. And I think it's a compliment to this place and to our commitment to being successful and to what our kids and staff have done here.
Let's go to Damien from the News in Advance, then Hank, I'll get back to you.
Hugh, I think on the mountain you've done everything but sing from the mountaintop about how much you like being at Liberty. And, as much as you've told us about how much you've enjoyed it here, how your quality of life and your family's quality of life has been better, you think a third contract extension in 3 years should tell the outsiders who constantly speculate that you could be going somewhere that you're happy in Lynchburg?
I don't know that outsiders ever listen to my press conferences. I don't know, and and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm not coaching. There's any coach that ever says he's never going to go anywhere. I don't think you can honestly say that and I'm being transparent. However, not for one single year have I felt like I needed to go look for anything because of what I have here, and I'm not. And it would take something, I said this last year, it would just take something that was really, really special, that Jill and I felt like God was leading us to, and if that ever happens where someone has an interest in me that I have a sincere interest in, Ian and our players will be the first to know. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and hopefully people will listen to it. When you have as good a job as I have, with good as people as I have it with here on the mountain, and the vision and the commitment level that they continue to show and belief in us, it can't be that many better jobs than this one.
Let's go to Jermaine Farrell from FXR in Roanoke, and then we'll go back to Hank.
Good afternoon, Coach. First of all, congratulations on your extension, and I want to wish you an early happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Thank you. Same to you, Jermaine.
I got two questions for you. Number one, obviously with James Madison jumping into the FBS ranks, the state is growing with all the FBS schools, Virginia Tech, Virginia, Liberty, Old Dominion, now JMU. Just your thoughts about the growth of FBS football in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. I do. I think it's a great high school football state with good players. And now with all of these FBS schools, it's certainly I know that Ian and I have talked many times. I think it's, I hope that we can kind of get all of those on the schedule, maybe not the Power Fives, maybe not Virginia and Virginia Tech every single year. But, man, I believe that the more regional games that these group of five schools, not just us, but nationally, I wish there was a czar over college football that would say, here's the group of five conferences and do it somewhat regionally. Because, man, I think ticket sales would go up, the excitement of games would go up, and certainly travel costs would go down, and not just football, but other sports too. And so I think it's, I look forward to, I know Ian agrees with me that, those are games that we should be trying to play in our non-conference world that should bring some more excitement. So I'm happy for the state and should create some good games, good rivalries, and good excitement all the way around.
And my second question is probably the most important one: sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie?
Man, neither. I don't care for either of those. I'm pecan pie man all the way.
Coach, you know what? I'm gonna send you a sweet potato pie. I think you're gonna change your mind.
I might do that, but if I have the choice, I'm gonna choose the pecan pie. But truthfully, I'd probably go back for an extra help of my mom's dressing before I even do the dessert.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, Hank.
How pleased are you with what you've been able to do independently, as an independent, and what benefits do you see Conference USA providing you guys?
Yeah, I think, what we've done here in 3 years, gaining bowl eligibility, winning, being 2-0 in bowls, obviously ranked in the top 20 last year and being competitive in almost every game we've played in. I think it made Liberty's program here somewhat relevant. And now transitioning, after next year into Conference USA, I think it's just set us up now to be competitive to win a conference championship. Our kind of, I'm not big on goals, but if you had to wrestle me down to pick one, it's been become bowl eligible and go and compete on national TV to win a bowl game. And we've been able to do that, and that sets us up to transition, I think, into now. Man, our goal is to win conference championships and put ourselves in position, whatever that leads to, which is a bit unknown to me at this point because you just don't know what the landscape is going to be. But, it's I think it's given us the confidence, and certainly the brand of Liberty has increased nationwide. I think that helps us in recruiting, and now being able to sell to our recruits, not only do we have the facilities and support and backing and commitment from our administration, but we also have a conference to try to go win. So I think it's very, very exciting.
How much more difficult does that relevance, the success, make it to get Virginia Tech to be willing to play you, or Virginia to be willing to play you, or Duke, or somebody like that?
I truthfully don't know that. I never get in those discussions, so I don't know. That would be an Ian question that I haven't sensed that I think everybody kind of likes those regional games is my sense right now, but I really don't know all the answers to that. I just, my only deal that I tell Ian is, man, when we get into a conference, I sure would like to play just one Power 5 a year, at most 2, and I don't really care. I mean, I certainly could rank them as to my rankings of who I would like, but I'm not opposed to really playing any Power 5s. So just would like to keep it to 1 or 2, but I haven't sensed that it's real difficult for us to schedule those. But again, I haven't really asked that question, so I'm probably speaking out of ignorance.
Got time for a few more here. We'll go to Ryan Moye from FXR in Roanoke.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
Doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm hanging in. Congrats on all the good news this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. Well, speaking of games, I mean, you have a pretty big game coming up this Saturday. If you don't mind talking a little bit about Army and how you guys are prepping for that squad.
Very difficult game. They play as hard as any team I've ever witnessed on tape, and obviously have had the success these last few years to bring them great confidence. And they've beaten a lot of good football teams, and they're not only good on offense and very difficult to prepare for, but they're a top 10 defense. Have a nation's leading sacker in number 34, and trying to simulate this offense is very difficult. There'll be a transition period for sure at the beginning of the game for us to adjust to the speed of this offense that you don't see much, and so that's going to be difficult. And then offensively for us, figuring out a way to keep them off the field and maybe have some sustained drives would certainly be very beneficial. But great opportunity. I know that, to close out our regular season and our seniors and their great careers that they've had here. So it's exciting for us.
Coach, thanks, Ryan. Coach, just looking at their defense, that's the part that probably doesn't get talked about a whole lot with them just because of the nature of their offense. But you mentioned that they have the nation's leader in sacks. It looks like also, too, they've got a couple ball hawks back there at safety. When you've seen teams have success against them, like a Wake Forest or somebody, I mean, how have they been able to attack successfully?
Yeah, truthfully, Wake Forest is the only one that's put up a lot of numbers on them, and they really hit them with a lot of explosive big plays over the top. And so that's, that was their game plan.
Any others here for Coach Freeze? We'll take one more here from Ryan.
Well, Coach, I know you kind of answered this a little bit earlier on, just in terms of being thankful. But I mean, in terms of the team, I mean, what have you been thankful for this season, considering how last season was and how craziness with COVID and everything has been? I mean, how thankful are you for this year?
Well, I'm thankful for every day I get to spend with these guys. I think every season is different. Every season has its own ups and downs and teaching moments and things that we need to learn life lessons from. And we've had some great moments, and we've had some not so great ones. And I try to embrace them all with these kids with a consistency in our approach, and hopefully model for them how to handle the good and the bad. And certainly we wish we wouldn't have had some of the disappointments that we've had, but that's part of life and part of being a part of a team also. And the important thing now is that we finish and finish the right way. And so that's what our goal is right now. But thankful for every kid, every coach that I've gotten to spend this year with.
Coach Allott, I'll ask you one more here. Javon Scruggs, how's he looked this week?
He's getting better. It'll be a game time decision, but he's getting a little better.